guy was making a big ruckus about something, and he was saying how he wasn't going to get off the plane, and now he's in an argument with the police about it. So, yeah. Happy travels, everybody.
I'm Gary, and this is Coasting with Culture, which is all about combining theme park visits and riding roller coasters with various cultural experiences around the world. Stumble season has begun once again, and this time, the Buzz Bars are heading to the Carolinas for Stumble 325. This series looks back at the event as well as gatherings that took place before and the adventures after. While there was much to look forward to for this trip, things didn't exactly start on the right foot. The Buzz Bars Coaster Club planned their next event for Carowinds, and I went to join them. Let's go! Okay, there was a bit more planning for this trip as a whole. Obviously, the event was the main draw, especially to see these great folks again for the first time since Velocity-Stumble in November. Since Carowinds was one of several parks along the East Coast that I hadn't been to for a good few years, I decided to focus on those that were open around this time for spring break, before and after the Stumble. Choosing where to fly was a result of a combination of these plans and finding the best airfare to the East Coast, which ended up being with United to Washington Dulles. Since I still had some flight credit to burn from my canceled Oklahoma trip the previous summer, I thought this would be a good time to use it. So with the flight to DC made, my original plan was to go to Williamsburg upon landing, spend the day at Colonial Williamsburg, then head to King's Dominion with a few others who would be at the Stumble on Thursday, and join even more stumblers at Busch Gardens on Friday. Then the Stumble would take place on Saturday and Sunday, and once it was finished, I had a day set aside for visiting North Carolina's mountain coasters, and the following day would be a long drive to get to Sesame Place because of their hours being 4 to 8 in the evening during the week. And the final stop would be at Six Flags America before heading home. These original plans would change a bit though, when Ricky booked his flight to go through Baltimore. Since he was going to be riding with me and a couple others from Virginia to Charlotte after Busch Gardens, I offered to rearrange my plans to spend a day exploring Baltimore in lieu of Colonial Williamsburg so I could be there to pick him up early the next morning. But that would be far from the only change to these plans that would occur over the course of the trip. Ever since I moved north to Everett in January, getting to SeaTac Airport takes a bit more time. While I could have driven down the morning of my flight and parked my car there, I thought I might save a bit of cash by taking a couple buses in the light rail, then grab an airport area hotel, which would cost less than the cost of parking for the week. The following morning, I received a notification from United Airlines that our flight was delayed an hour while I was on the shuttle over to the airport. No worries, I thought. I'll just take my time with breakfast at Trailhead Barbecue. But then a 9 o'clock departure became a 12:30 departure. While I could have spoke with an agent about getting rebooked on a different flight, clicking the link I received in the text notifications and going through the website to see what my other options were, there wasn't really anything else coming up. So I assumed all the flights out of Seattle this day were booked solid. So I figured I'd hang tight and head to club at SEA to pass some time. After a while though, a 12:30 departure became a 2 o'clock departure and then became a 3:30 departure. So I went ahead and spoiled myself with a shoulder massage at the terminal spa, especially since I'd been feeling a bit tense lately, so why not? Once that massage was done, the 3:30 departure became a 4:15 departure. So I figured I might as well go ahead and grab some food, because at this point I'd probably be heading right to the hotel upon landing. When I got the next update, the departure was changed in the other direction from 4:15 to 4 o'clock. Surely this had to mean that whatever issue the plane was having was about to be resolved. So I went over to the gate, waiting for the time to come. And then, at 2:06 in the afternoon, after being at SeaTac Airport for over 8 hours, I got the message from United that the flight was canceled. To say that this was frustrating was an understatement, especially as a fellow passenger said they spoke with an employee who said they had known about this issue with the plane since the previous afternoon. Fortunately, I was able to get rebooked onto an afternoon flight to Denver, where I would connect onto a red-eye to Washington. Until we had to deboard the plane.
Unfortunately, after going through this process of waiting several hours at the airport to try and get to Dulles, and then having that flight canceled after 6-8 hours, however long it was, before they finally decided to cancel it, I got myself rebooked to do this flight to Denver to get the connection to Dulles. And then they had us deplane because there's a guy who decided to throw a big ruckus about something, saying how he wasn't going to get off the plane, and now he's in an argument with the police about it. So, yeah. Happy travels, everybody.
Once the situation was resolved, we got back on. After over 10.5 hours since I first arrived on that morning shuttle, finally, we were backing away from the gate. Landing in Denver was a bit turbulent because of high winds, but we did land safely, and given how things had gone, I was definitely ready for a beer. So I wandered around the airport to find somewhere, but unfortunately several of the restaurants had already closed. Luckily though, one place was still open upstairs, and that was Aviator's Smokehouse. I didn't mind too much that they were on a limited food menu at that point in the night, as I really just wanted the beer. And I had myself the Pretzel Assassin Amber from Denver Beer Company. It was just what I needed after a really long day. Although that pulled chicken sandwich hit the spot as well. As they closed down the bar, it was just a short walk over to the gate for the flight to Washington. The neat thing about this flight was getting to ride on the increasingly rare Boeing 757, since fewer and fewer of them are in operation, as airlines continue to retire older aircraft in favor of newer, more efficient ones. It wasn't long after takeoff that I essentially crashed for the length of the flight, waking up just in time for landing.
Only 13 hours behind the originally planned arrival time, but yeah, could have been worse. So, just glad to have made it. Now, I'm gonna go take a nap, because I'm tired.
Thanks to my friend Rick, who you may remember from last year's Kansas County Fair coaster run, I had a place to crash for a while and ended up having a chill day while he worked. When the evening came, we went to dinner and enjoyed some excellent milkshakes from a local ice cream stand in Manassas called Swirly's. From there, I made my way to Baltimore, where finally, over 24 hours after I was originally supposed to be there, I got to the first hotel of the trip, and from this point, it was back on the original itinerary. For now. Thank you for watching this Coasting with Culture video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below to see future videos here on YouTube, like these ones which you may enjoy as well. Additional content can be found at coastingwithculture.com, and you can also follow Coasting with Culture on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for announcements, previews, and updates. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care and safe travels.